All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Jan 716 back here again, and today want to make a quick video talking about the Buffalo Bills signing AJ Klein, outside linebacker from the former outside linebacker for the New Orleans Saints, on a 3-year, $18 million deal. Of course, $9 million is guaranteed, or I think around 9, 8, or maybe 7 million is guaranteed. I'm not too sure, but somewhere around that ballpark, that money is guaranteed. But I think that this is a pretty good signing for the Buffalo Bills. I think that, he is there to be that Lorenzo Alexander replacement. He's a guy that can play at the inside linebacking position, but primarily is known as an outside linebacker. Played for the New Orleans Saints, started 15 games for the New Orleans Saints. Had all career highs when it came to tackles for loss, assists, sacks, and stuff like that. Wasn't any eye-popping numbers. Wasn't any Luke Kuechly type of numbers, but we are a defense that primarily runs a lot of nickel, right? We run a lot of nickel packages instead of just going straight up base. So he's a guy that, he's not going to be a tackling machine. He's not a guy that's going to have over 100 or 150 tackles. He's not going to be that Tremaine Edmonds, Matt Milano type of guy. But he is a guy that once we go 3 linebackers in a set, he's a guy that can be he could be a playmaker for us. He's a guy that has a lot of athleticism. He has a lot of upside. He's primarily one of the bigger linebackers that the Bills have had at the so far. I know Tremaine Edmonds, he's that big guy, but Matt Milano is more of a 230, 235 type of guy. AJ Klein's a guy that has good size, good range, long-rangey arms there. He's a guy that can play pass coverage. Not the greatest in the world in pass coverage, but he can play some zone coverage here and there. Not really a man coverage guy. I think that's the one weakness in his game. But he's primarily more of a run stuffer. He's primarily more of a run stuffer than a zone coverage or just that, your prototypical linebacker at the outside position. He's a guy that fits very well for this defense because he's played under, he knows the defense well. He's played under Sean McDermott, just, again, a very similar scheme that, Sean McDermott runs compared to what he ran in Carolina. But again, super, just really similar. AJ Klein's a guy that's played under that for around 3 seasons now, so he knows the system very, very well. He's also a guy that's not really going to cost a lot. Again, $9 million is guaranteed. He's only getting paid around $18 million. So again, it's not gonna, be huge on the cap. I think that he can be, again, he can be that Jordan Poyer type of signing where you don't know who Jordan Poyer is, but you signed him to this, this contract that may seem a little bit too much, but he's a guy that can exceed under the system. AJ Klein's a guy that had all career highs. He was, he was a guy that finally started to, to get settled in the Saints defense, and he became a much better player once he did get settled in it. This is a defense where he knows straight out the gate, and he's a guy that could potentially exceed more, especially because he's a veteran. He's going to be 29 years of age, but he's still more in the prime of his career, or he's just starting to now get into the prime of his career. He's a guy that could be that, around 30, 31, 32 years of age, be a veteran linebacker, but still be a really, really good presence for us, maybe, looking down the line. So I think that overall wise, this is a pretty good signing for the Buffalo Bills. Again, Buffalo's not making any huge signings, right? They're not signing anybody to these huge contracts, but they're getting players that fit their scheme. AJ Klein, is a guy that fits under the McDermott scheme. Josh Norman's a guy that fits under the McDermott scheme, and they're going to find players that not only fits their scheme, but also fits the culture that brings that presence to their locker room. Of course, if they don't do that, they're not going to sign anybody, especially to a massive contract. So nobody yet that we've signed to a massive contract. I really don't think we're going to sign anyone to just a massive amount of contract. It's probably going to be a lineman that maybe fits the scheme, maybe a big name, who knows, maybe a Sharif out there. But overall wise, I really like this deal here. I think that, Buffalo's off to a pretty good start. I know it's been pretty slow because we haven't really signed anybody today, but AJ Klein is a guy that I really, really like. And, of course, we'll see who the Buffalo Bills continue to sign in the future. So, anyway, guys, that's all I got. That's pretty much all I got for you guys, at least for now. I thought I was going to be done, but, of course, the Buffalo Bills signed AJ Klein. I really like this one. So, I'll be back if Buffalo gets more signings. And, yeah, have a good night. Stay safe. Gen 716, I'm out. Peace.